What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video. And Fabrizio Romano has shared a Mason Mount update because Mason Mount has appointed a new agent, and this was done a few weeks ago, and it's very likely, according to Fabrizio Romano and even according to Chelsea manager Graham Potter, who we will have quotes from in this video as well, that Mason Mount will leave Chelsea in the summer. So Liverpool are in pole position to sign him. His new agent's name is Neil Fewings, and he will now help Mason Mount in the talks with Chelsea, in the contract talks. But Mason Mount has rejected all of Chelsea's contract offers because Mason Mount wants to be paid equally as Chelsea's biggest stars, and I think that's fair because Mason Mount was one of their most important players. He scored 16 or 15 goals last season and got 16 assists as well, something like that last season. 13 goals, I think, to be precise, and 16 assists. So he contributed to almost 30 goals for Chelsea last season. So he deserves a pay rise, and Chelsea aren't willing to give him that. So let me know in the comments below, do you want Mason Mount to sign for Liverpool? Do you think he would be a good signing? And also, what would be a fair transfer price for him? I think around 40 to 50 million pounds would be a really good transfer fee for him. And Chelsea are willing to listen to bids because Mason Mount will have 1 year left on his contract after this season is over. So Chelsea will have to sell because they can't risk losing him on a free transfer. And Chelsea manager Graham Potter said that Mason Mount has to make the right decision for him and his family. It's between the club and Mason Mount, Graham Potter said, basically distancing himself from the talks. Sometimes these things happen, they are complicated at its best. I speak little about it. I've spoken to Mason Mount several times about life in general. My feelings for Mason are clear, and I think he's a fantastic person. I'm not naive, and I know it's an important contract for him. These things have to be right for him and his family, and it's important he makes the right choice for himself, because Mason Mount is 24 years old. So this is one of the most important and one of the biggest contracts of his career, because for the bulk of his next few years, like if he signs a new 3, 4, 5 year contract, whether it's at Chelsea or whether it's at a new club like Liverpool, or even Man United are interested in him, Arsenal are interested in him. I don't think Man United or Arsenal need him as much as Liverpool. At Liverpool he would be an absolutely regular starter player in my opinion, and he's a really hard working, really determined, high intensity player, which Jurgen Klopp absolutely loves these kind of players. So Mason Mount wants to maximize his earning potential in the next few years of his career when he's entering the prime years, and that's, I think, why Liverpool also want him so much, because we had so many really big talents come at 23, 24, 25 years old, and they really exploded and went to the next level under Jurgen Klopp, and Mason Mount could be another player like that. And usually players change agents before they want to get a big transfer move going, and from Liverpool's perspective this appears to be an ideal turn of events. The need for new blood in our midfield couldn't be more obvious, more evident after we struggled so many times. And I mean, even Bajcetic, we overplayed him since January, and he's now had a season-ending injury. And Mason Mount is already a Premier League proven player, and he's a Champions League winner with Chelsea. He already played 128 games in the Premier League, so he's very experienced. And he also played 36 times for the England national team. So at 24, not too many players have more experience than Mason Mount. And there is the possibility that Jurgen Klopp maybe is trying to change the structure and the style of Liverpool's and midfield, and especially like the whole Liverpool team with more technical midfielders. So Jurgen Klopp maybe doesn't want to rely on Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson to create chances for the team, because more and more teams are finding out how Liverpool's exact style of play can be nullified. Of course, the players not hitting their true like level didn't help either, but maybe a change of style and a change of direction is needed. And I said it for many years. Liverpool not having a regular goal scorer in midfield is really hurting us, in my opinion. If you look at any of the top teams in the Premier League, almost all of them, maybe except Tottenham, have a really good goal scoring midfielder. Man United have Bruno Fernandes, Arsenal have Odegaard, the Chelsea have Mason Mount, ironically, and of course others like Kai Havertz. Man City have Kevin De Bruyne and a lot of other midfielders who can score goals. And Mason Mount is very adaptable. He can play in a variety of positions, and I think why Jurgen Klopp would love him to have at Liverpool is he's very hardworking, he has a goal in him, and he's very rarely injured. He's very reliable. And if you look at the recent signings into midfield, Fabio Carvalho, Thiago, Harvey Elliott, they don't really fit into this heavy metal style of football with a lot of physicality. These players are not physical players, and maybe that has been a problem this season as well. And to any naysayer who thinks Mason Mount is not good enough, look at Chelsea. Every single manager that Chelsea had since Mason Mount is there, they have always picked Mason Mount. They are always playing him, except Graham Potter after the January transfer window, because Chelsea signed so many players that he probably had to pick some of them. I mean, Enzo Fernandez, they spent like 80 million on Enzo Fernandez, so he had to start, even though he's starting in a different role as a deep lying playmaker. But Mason Mount, as an attacking midfielder, he's not playing regularly at Chelsea, and at 24 years old, that can't continue. He wants out, and I cannot understand why. And what I really find strange and annoying is that Liverpool have been so secretive and so ambiguous about the injury updates to the Liverpool players. Something is really badly going wrong with the medical department, that's perfectly clear. But Liverpool are not helping themselves by not even publicly announcing, for example, that Darwin Núñez is injured. We had to find out the way that Darwin Núñez has withdrawn from international selection. So Darwin Núñez is not going to play for Uruguay during the international break because he picked up an injury. But we don't know what kind of injury it is. Is it a major injury or just a small one, a minor injury? What Liverpool confirmed is that Darwin Núñez will undergo treatment at Liverpool. Liverpool did not specify the nature of the injury, but it is understood to be related to a cut ankle sustained during the Real Madrid-Liverpool game on Wednesday. So hopefully it's only a few weeks, and hopefully Darwin Núñez will be back after the international break. But these injuries are just so concerning that Liverpool just can't seem to get rid of the injuries. Good news is that Luis Diaz is getting closer and closer to full fitness, but also Calvin Ramsey, the right back that we signed to be backup for Trent Alexander-Arnold. He has been away for months now, and Liverpool didn't really post any updates. But then Calvin Ramsey himself posted a picture of himself in a hospital bed with a big case around his leg. So he had some kind of major operation. Yet Liverpool don't really publicly announce what kind of injury Calvin Ramsey had, how long he will be out for, when is he back. And also what I find really weird is the journalists are not really asking Jurgen Klopp about this. They aren't really asking Jurgen Klopp about, Calvin Ramsey's injury or Darwin Núñez's injury. And what I find really astonishing is that Bobby Firmino has the 4th best minutes per goal ratio in the Premier League for players with a minimum of 5 goals this season. Of course, Erling Haaland is the first with 75 minutes per goal, which is absolutely ridiculous. But then Alexander Isak, the player who Newcastle signed for a record transfer fee last summer, he scored 3 goals in 2 games now for Newcastle, and it's really worrying that now Newcastle are 5 points ahead of Liverpool in the top 4 race. That's a lot, especially because Liverpool go to Man City, Chelsea, and then we host Arsenal. So we might not win our next 3 games, and Newcastle might be 10 plus points ahead of Liverpool by the time we start playing the smaller teams again. That's why it's so costly, for example, to lose to Nottingham Forest, because Newcastle went to Nottingham Forest and they won 2-1. Yes, they needed a last minute penalty, but the results is what matters the most in football. And Newcastle winning at Nottingham Forest really hurts Liverpool's top 4 chances. Harry Kane is the third for the minutes per goal ratio with 120 minutes per goal, but Bobby Firmino is fourth with 129 minutes per goal. He has more or better minutes per goal ratios than all the other attacking players and strikers and everybody in the Premier League, which is absolutely brilliant. But it's also clear that Firmino will be a very hard man to replace at Liverpool, but I think Cody Gakpo is the player who is groomed to be to play the Firmino role next season and from onwards. But Jota can play in the middle and the left, on the left. Darwin can play in the middle on the left, and Cody Gakpo can play in the middle and on the left as well. So that's very good that we have 3 versatile players, because Salah can only play on the right predominantly most of the time. Luis Diaz, his best position is on the left as well. So we need players who are interchangeable and who can play through the middle. But it will be very interesting what kind of attacking formation and what kind of attacking lineup Jurgen Klopp will pick once all of these players are fit and in top form. It will be a very good selection dilemma for Jurgen Klopp, of course. The good news is that there is still 2 weeks left until we play Manchester City. Oh my goodness, it will be 2.5 weeks for Liverpool, like the whole half a month between 2 Liverpool games, between we play Real Madrid and Man City. Hopefully Liverpool can get their ducks in order, hopefully we can clear our heads and Jurgen Klopp can really work with the team on the training ground. Of course, apart from the international break where a lot of the players will be away. But the hope is for Liverpool that Darwin Núñez will be back for selection for the Manchester City game. And English newspapers are reporting that multiple clubs are looking to sign Oxlade-Chamberlain, who becomes a free agent in the summer. Southampton, Brighton and Leicester City are all interested in signing Oxlade-Chamberlain this summer. And he's a player that we should have sold last season. I mean, Oxlade-Chamberlain hardly played any football. Naby Keita hardly played any football this season. Why on earth didn't we sell both of them when they just had 1 year left on their contracts? Especially Naby Keita, who had a great season last season actually. One of his best, but potentially his best season in a Liverpool shirt. If we could have sold him last summer when his stock was high and before injuries started hitting him again, we could have gotten 20-25 million for him. Now we lose both players on free transfers and we are still needing a lot of money for the midfield rebuild. Imagine if we sell Oxlade-Chamberlain for 10 million, Naby Keita for 25-30 million last summer. I think I gave a little bit generous transfer fees. That's another 40 million. If you put another 20 or 30 million on top of that, we could have signed a brilliant midfielder last summer and this season would have been better. I'm not saying we would have won the Premier League or we would have won the Champions League, but we wouldn't be languishing in mid-table. Liverpool are in 7th place in the Premier League if teams win their games in hand on us, like Brighton will be above us if they win their game in hand. And Brentford, who are, they spent an absolute tiny amount compared to Liverpool and they are 1 point behind Liverpool, which is an absolute disgrace that Liverpool are having such a shocking season. If we keep continuing this form, we will have 61 points at the end of the season, which will be one of the worst Premier League seasons when it comes to points tallies in Liverpool's history of the past 25 years. And also we will probably not even finish in a Europa League place. Maybe Conference League or even 8th place is possible for Liverpool. So yeah, let me know what they think about Liverpool's season and what should happen in the summer transfer window in the comments below. Thanks for watching guys, hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day, see you later, goodbye.